Hey, this is Mike from the Team Rubicon Digital Transformation project team. And in this video, I want to go over the event approval process that's being baked into the VMS. So this particular flowchart, we've got a color code in use. Anything that's red is user initiated, which simply means that somebody has to actually do something in order for that particular thing to happen. The darker color is system initiated stuff, and so these are built-in workflows, processes, basically some kind of automation that's happening. And then the olive color is basically just notes. So everything starts with the submitter creating a draft of an event. And this is kind of a cool upgrade for a lot of regions where typically right now they have to have everything figured out before they go to their system of record and put it in. So whether that's the current leadership portal, or it could be a Google form or a spreadsheet somewhere, a lot of times they have to kind of know everything before they go approach that form. And in this case, they can really just start with a vague idea, save it as a draft, and then work on it slowly over time. So the new system does allow for drafts, which I think will be a good feature that people will like. As soon as they save that draft, the system is going to automatically show them who the approvers are for that particular area and for that level of money that they're requesting. The approvers are driven by the master lists, which we'll go over in a different video. The master lists are very integral to the event management process and which people actually get put into what positions for the event. In addition, there's an optional logs, comms, and finance representative in those master lists, and those representatives will also be put into the event as soon as it's saved as well. And in that way, for the regions that choose to use that, the event submitter will see who those people are and can reach out proactively to them to get questions answered, or basically so that they don't have to become experts in some of the most tricky things that TR has, which is logs, comms, and finance. So at that point, the submitter and the reps are able to collaborate and work back and forth to figure out how they want to actually accomplish this particular event and try to get into some of the details. At some point, the submitter is going to feel like everything's ready and good to go, so they're going to hit the submit button that's located inside the submit area of the event form. Once that happens, that's going to trigger the approval process, and that process starts with an email to the approvers as well as the LCF reps, who by this point have not actually received any type of notification, but would now. And the reason for that is there might be a number of draft events or tests that people want to run, or good idea fairy type things that are probably never going to happen. And so really the clicking of the submit button kind of makes it a real event that people are then triggered to go and actually spend some time on. So at this stage of the game, the submitter can see who those people are going to be, and they can proactively reach out if they want, but it's not going to actually email anybody to come look at the event until it actually is submitted. At that point, the system is going to look at the approval level in the event form and determine whether it's set to regional or set to national. If it's set to national, then there's a separate national approval process that will be handled in a different video. If it's set to regional, then it's going to be on the Tier 1 approver to take the event to the next step. So the Tier 1 approver was emailed back here, and so the email that they'll get has a link to the event inside of the VMS and basically tells them, hey, go check out this event, see if you want to approve it. The Tier 1 approver is typically going to be a city admin, district coordinator, probably a volunteer leader, and usually they would not have the ability to approve any type of funding, as those are set aside for different approval tiers. But we can see here what would happen if the Tier 1 approver says no to the event. Then it's going to send an email back to the submitter that has the comments that the approver wrote whenever they rejected it. That submitter is going to then go back and collaborate again with maybe the representatives or with the approver and basically resubmit for approval. That's going to send an email back to that first approver, and then they start their process over again. Once the Tier 1 approver has approved their portion of the event, the system's going to look at whether or not there's any funding or waivers required. And if not, it's going to say that the event is approved and it can go on its merry way. If there is funds or waiver required, then we're going to move into the escalated approval process, and we can go up into 7 different levels of approval inside of this iteration. So we start at level 2 in this case, and we say, does the level 2 person approve the event? And if so, then it's going to say, all right, is there another tier that exists based on these price thresholds for this particular event? And if so, then it's going to send an email to the next level approver and say, it's your turn to go approve the next phase of this particular event. They're going to then look at it and say, all right, do they approve it? And if not, then the submitter and the reps would go back to work and figure out whatever the particular issue is, and then they would resubmit, and we stay kind of in this loop until we have no more approvals left. So once everything is approved, the event triggers the email to the submitter saying that the event is approved, and if the PEX dollar amount is above 0, then it's going to also trigger the first step of the national finance process, which we'll talk about in a different video. And then above and beyond everything, the submitters, or most likely there's going to be a specialized role that has the ability to publish the event in order for it to show up on the volunteer portal and actually be exposed for people to sign up for it. That's it for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information should be at the bottom of the video here, and we'll see you in the next video.